Good evening. Please be seated.
President Obama came to talk to the press and the American people about health care reform. But what was most interesting came at the very end of his press conference, and a question not about health care, but about his friend, Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates, Jr. Last Thursday, Cambridge police were called to Gates's home by someone who said she saw two African-American men breaking in. Those two men were the professor and his driver trying to force through a broken door.
There was a report called into the police station that there might be a burglary taking place. So far, so good, right? I mean, if I was trying to jigger in, well, I guess this is my house now, so it probably wouldn't happen. But let's say my old house in Chicago. Here I'd get shot.
Gates initially refused to show his ID, according to the police report, and then, quote, exhibited loud and tumultuous behavior and made accusations of racial bias. He was arrested for disorderly conduct.
The Cambridge police acted stupidly in arresting somebody when there was already proof that they were in their own home.
The charges were later dropped.
I don't know, not having been there and not seeing all the facts, what role race played in that. There is a long history in this country of African Americans and Latinos being stopped by law enforcement disproportionately. That doesn't lessen the incredible progress that has been made. I am standing here as testimony to the progress that's been made.
But the progress on the health care reform bills in Congress was the larger focus of the night. The president came armed with some new lines about what his opponents, in his view, are offering.
If somebody told you that there is a plan out there that is guaranteed to double your health care costs over the next 10 years, that's guaranteed to result in more Americans losing their health care, and that is by far the biggest contributor to our federal deficit, I think most people would be opposed to that. Well, that's the status quo. That's what we have right now.
It seems clear that the Senate, and maybe not even the House, will pass health care reform by the president's deadline of August recess.
You've been pushing Congress to pass health care reform by August. Why the rush?
If you don't set deadlines in this town, things don't happen. The default position is inertia.
He even seemed to suggest that regardless of his earnest poking and prodding for Congress to act, he will not just go along with whatever Congress puts before him.
I'm not going to sign a bill that, for example, adds to our deficit. I won't sign a bill that doesn't reduce health care inflation so that families as well as government are saving money. I'm not going to sign a bill that I don't think will work.
The American people, the president suggested, will not have to give anything up. Nothing in terms of choice or tests, referrals, end-of-life care.
Do you accept the premise that other than some tax increases on the wealthiest Americans, the American people are going to have to give anything up in order for this to happen?
They're going to have to give up paying for things that don't make them healthier. And I, speaking as an American, I think that's the kind of change you want. If there's a blue pill and a red pill, and the blue pill is half the price of the red pill and works just as well, why not pay half price for the thing that's going to make you well?
One reporter asked if, as a gesture of good faith, the president would agree to take the same benefits as the public health insurance plan that he's pushing.
I would be happy to abide by the same benefit package. I will just be honest with you. I'm the President of the United States, so I've got a doctor following me every minute, which is why I say this is not about me.
But in no small way, this is about his presidency. This is Jake Tapper for Nightline at the White House.